which is probably right. get out of type already.
We're going to get started here with our June board meeting. So if we could just please rise to the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, item two is introductions. I'm Chris Champagne, the board chair.
Lauren Escalante, board member.
Shannon Levy, board clerk.
Dr. Compton, school superintendent.
James Garofalo, board member. Ed Stramella, board member.
Okay, item two is the Bungay Building Committee update. I don't see, anything from Mr. Mello.
Okay. Well, things are looking positive in all directions with that. From both the town approval of the board of selectmen, and now our biggest challenge obviously is to get it passed in the referendum. That's our next challenge. So please support the new Bungay School.
The meeting was recently held on June 11th. There was a Bundy Building Committee meeting, and I thought it went well.
All right, thanks. Next up, we have the champion recognition. So this is the Seymour champions. And the first school we have up is Bungay School.
And this represents the best of the best. They're all our champions, but these tonight, you're basically your school champions. So parents, I appreciate each month those parents, grandparents, and the students that come out and support us, and the staff. It means a great deal. So on to Bundy.
All right. Come on. All right, so Lauren Reed, principal of Bungay School. I have here with me Mrs. Gina Kint, who is the person who nominated our first Bungay champion for overall Seymour champion. So Oliver, come on up. So Oliver was nominated for everything he does each and every day. He puts a smile on his face and he's ready to put forth his best effort. He shows creativity, not only when building with blocks or magnetiles, painting, writing stories, making observations in science lessons. Oliver is on task and hardworking, whether he's doing independent work, during centers, playtime, or leading his class as his teacher assistant. Oliver is motivated. He's the best learner and friend in their school community. He works hard not only in the classroom, but in unified arts, in the cafeteria, and at recess. He's aware of his peers and the learning expectations. He is optimistic in his attitude, and he perseveres through all challenges in the classroom. So congratulations, Oliver. Perfect.
All right. Parents, come up.
Yes, right here. We had two Seymour champions from this family this year, actually. Our next Seymour champion is Peyton Blackwell. Come on up, Peyton. Peyton was nominated by Mrs. Mucci. Peyton is a true champion in her class. She works hard every day and she is kind to her classmates. She is creative in her problem solving and never gives up until she finds a logical solution. Peyton is motivated to achieve. Her test scores reflect that. She is not afraid to ask questions, and she is always taking her time to learn from her mistakes and try again until she succeeds. Peyton is a leader in the classroom, and she shows all of our caring pillars as well as our Seymour champion pillars each and every day. If the teacher ever needs help in class, she knows she can always count on Peyton to help out and to do the right thing. Peyton is admired by students and staff alike and is a wonderful example of our Seymour champion.
Okay, parents come up here, please. Thank you, Mr. Pelosi and Mr. Vaughn, helping us with chairs back there.
Congratulations, Peyton.
Good evening, everyone. Dave Electa, principal at Chatfield Presty School, and Stephanie Chacon, assistant principal for another week or so at Chatfield Presty School. We have two great examples of Seymour champions tonight. Our first is Eileen Arslan. Could Eileen please come up? So Eileen was nominated by Mr. Fleming, her fifth grade teacher. She is a 2-year CLS student ambassador, and so she was part of numerous spirit days that were planned over the last couple of years at CLS. And just in general, as a student ambassador and as a wonderful person, Eileen has helped to make CLS a better place. Mr. Fleming sees Eileen as an extremely conscientious student who always checks her work and is willing to ask questions to better understand the problem. She always will offer help to anyone who needs it. She comes across consistently as hardworking and motivated. She is always willing to help out any student who needs it and is consistently very polite and respectful to all. So congratulations, Eileen.
With them, parents, come up, please. Come on up, Dad. Yep. Okay, get in there a little bit closer. Scott.
Our second one to be recognized is Cora Willocks. Come on down. Cora displays exemplary citizenship in all she does. As you can see, she never, ever is without that smile. She treats students and staff with respect each day and stands up for fairness and speaks out against dishonesty. Cora leads by example, encouraging others to uphold strong moral values. Her commitment to integrity makes her a trusted and respectful member of our school community. Cora's positive, upbeat personality carries through even when things get difficult. She was nominated by Mrs. Kimball, and Mrs. Kimball observes that Cora is a genuine friend and well respected by her peers. Congratulations.
Okay, parents.
Good evening. Keith O'Rourke, principal of Seymour Middle School. Pleasure to be here tonight. So at Seymour Middle School, we use the Champions acronym every month to recognize students throughout our building. And we have a team structure here. We have 6 teams. We have a unified arts team, which is made up of 9 teachers that teach what in elementary school are often called the specials, but PE, music, art. And the way that we do our champions throughout the course of the year is each team nominates multiple students every month. And those students all get put on our bulletin board that you walk into the building and you might see our Seymour Middle School champions. And over the course of the year, we recognize close to 200 students doing this, using the champions program. So the way that we come up with our champion every month is we take the pool that's been nominated by the teachers and then we make a decision as a school leadership team. And to come up with the 2 students that we're choosing tonight, we've taken the champions throughout the course of the year, and that's how we determined our 2 finalists. So it's really an outstanding honor, and it says a lot about the students that they've risen to the top of the building throughout the course of the year, starting at the team level with their teachers and rising up to be the cream of the crop, and they truly are the cream of the crop. So the first student I'd like to call up tonight is an 8th grader going off to Seymour High School, Mackenzie Browning. Mackenzie, come on up. Now, I'm going to say this for Mackenzie's parents because I have gone to so many presentations for her this year that I know this right. Make sure you smile. They're watching you. You know the deal. You know the deal. You've been here before. All right, so this year's Seymour champion is someone who truly embodies every quality we hope to see in a student, Mackenzie Browning. Mackenzie is motivated and hardworking, excelling in all of her classes, earning honor roll every marking period from 6th grade until her leaving Seymour Middle School as an 8th grader. But her excellence doesn't stop with academics. She brings a positive, upbeat attitude to school every day and is always ready to lend a hand or lift up a classmate. She is a natural leader, serving as the cheer team captain all 3 years at Seymour Middle School. She was a founding member of our National Junior Honor Society and was an active participant in our drama club, Best Buddies, and the track club, which she helped launch last year. She also serves as a peer mentor, supporting students with special needs in and out of the classroom, including on field trips. Mackenzie's leadership extends beyond school. She's a counselor in training at a nonprofit farm camp, an assistant dance teacher, and a junior coach for the Seymour Unified Cheerleading Team. These roles speak to her integrity, nobility, and awareness of how her time and talents can benefit others. And fittingly, and I've said this before, so I'm sorry if you've heard this already, but fittingly, she has spent her years at SMS as a base in cheerleading. Now, if you're familiar with cheerleading and if you're familiar with the job of the base is steady. They are a grounded person who lifts others up and helps them shine. That's who Mackenzie is. She is strong, she is dependable, and she is always raising those around her up. Mackenzie Browning, thank you for being a beacon of optimism, perseverance, and purpose. You are a true Seymour champion.
Parents, come on up. Come on.
You got it, you got it. Thank you, Mackenzie. Our next student is Thomas Halligan. Come over here, Tommy. Our second Seymour champion is someone whose quiet leadership, strong character, and deep commitment to his community have made a lasting impact on Seymour Middle School. Please join me in recognizing Thomas Halligan. Thomas is a student. Thomas is a student who leads by example. His teachers and classmates describe him as respectful, thoughtful, and driven. He has received the Cougar Pride Citizenship Award several times during his time at Seymour Middle School, as well as the Seymour Champions Award this past January. He embraces academic challenges with determination and perseverance, always pushing himself to do his best. He was inducted into the National Junior Honor Society and contributed behind the scenes this year as team photographer for the basketball team. He also stepped up to serve during our annual turkey drive, helping collect donations for families in need. But where Thomas really shines is in the community. He has volunteered with Wreaths Across America, participated in the Clarides Village food cleanup, and co-founded the Seymour Snow Brigade. More on that in a little bit. Helping shovel sidewalks for residents who can't do it themselves. These actions speak volumes about his awareness, his nobility, and his commitment to service. Thomas has a quiet strength and a genuine heart. He doesn't seek the spotlight, but through every word and every action, he reflects the values we hope to instill in all of our students. And though he doesn't seek the spotlight, I'm telling you, over the next 4 years, you're going to see him in it quite often. Thomas Halligan, thank you for representing the very best of Seymour Middle School. You too are a true Seymour champion.
Seymour High School's champion for the year is Nevaeh Cruz. Nevaeh, would you please come up? After 26 years in education, Miss Nevaeh here is one of the most perseverant, kind, gentle people that you'll ever meet. She spent a lot of time working on dual credit opportunities at Post University and is going to be pursuing a degree in criminal justice. Some other people that nominated her was one of our social workers, Mrs. Corbin. This is what she had to say about you. Nevaeh is a remarkable individual who has faced personal obstacles with strength, persistence, and a drive to succeed. Despite the difficulties she has encountered, Nevaeh has remained steadfast in her commitment to her education, providing herself to be resilient, hardworking, and deeply dedicated to creating a better future. In addition to her academic excellence, Nevaeh has shown maturity, responsibility, and an incredible work ethic that sets her apart. Dr. Pinho, her guidance counselor, said Nevaeh is an extraordinary young woman who has maintained excellent academic performance and attendance throughout high school while managing significant personal responsibilities. Her resilience, determination, and strong work ethic are evident in all that she does. Nevaeh's maturity and ability to persevere through challenges sets her apart as a truly inspiring student. Nevaeh, congratulations on being our champion.
Mom, come on up. We're so proud of her. Great job. Yes, we'll let Mr. Keith O'Rourke come up in regards with the middle school and Mrs. Feige. These were nominated through the Connecticut Association of Schools. This is quite an honor, and these kids received special state recognition. So let's call them up and go ahead.
So Braden Ferrara and Thomas Halligan, please
Yes.
come to the front. And let me talk very quickly about why these two young men are here. So the National Junior Honor Society at Seymour Middle School is relatively new. This was only the third year, and it hasn't even been the third full year that the organization has been in existence. And one of the pillars of the National Junior Honor Society, or any honor society, is service to community. And something that we really want to instill in our students at Seymour Middle School is service to community. So I gave the task to the advisors of the National Junior Honor Society, Mrs. Krasinski and Mrs. Garrow, to let's create some sort of a project or opportunity for our students where they could give back to the community. Think of the movie Pay It Forward, where you do something positive with nothing to be asked in return. And what the advisors did, and we had an organization with, I would say, 20 plus students, is they challenged each one of the students in the National Junior Honor Society to come up with an idea that if they could carry it out, it can make a positive difference and impact in the community, with the hope of someday this turning into a building-wide initiative for the entire school. So the students were tasked, and some of the projects that the students put out into the community were outstanding, but I have to say that what Tommy and Braden did not only was outstanding, but it got the recognition not only of the local news, but it was on television as well.
Yes.
Braden, you're the spokesman. Do you want to tell them what you did?
Why don't you give a little bit
He's,
of overview?
listen, you're good. I mean, you're still my student, even though I
Yes.
promoted. So, 2 weeks ago, Braden and Tommy were at the Connecticut Association of Schools, CAS, and they were recognized as one of 19 schools in the state as having an exemplary community service-based project. And their project was the Seymour Snow Brigade. So right around the time that the weather was going to turn, they created a network, and they had a tremendous amount of support, I would say, from their parents, who are, they're all here in the audience as well. But they created a network of middle school students, as well as, I think, a handful, 1 or 2 high schoolers, that they were basically taking appointments to go to the elderly in town, that if the snow came down, they were going to be there, no matter what the conditions, and they were going to shovel out the driveways. And they actually did this several times during the storms that we had this year. They were out, they were in the community, they were helping people that were in need. And again, it caught wind within the media, and they had a nice segment on the news, but I could tell you, they didn't do any of this for any of that. They did it because they just thought it was a good thing to do. And what they have to do from this point is continue it forward and keep it going, because this could be huge, and you can impact so many people on such a high positive level. You have the first select woman here right now. You
I
should
was gonna
definitely
say,
connect
I
and
know
touch
that
base.
she will.
So they did it right. They did it with support from parents, and they absolutely made a difference, and they got recognized at the state level for it. And they made our community a better community as a result. So that's why Braden and Tommy are up here.
First Select Woman will be recognizing them at a Select Persons meeting, because definitely what a difference in the community, and especially with our older seniors. We really appreciate it, guys. Great job. Can parents come up after
Come on up.
this? Parents is... Yeah, very special.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask that Mrs. Feige come up. She's going to give a little overview. This next award is outstanding. They were nominated by Mrs. Feige. When you think about the Seymour Fire Department and what they do for our community and for our town, and with our first select woman, Anne Marie DeGronis, being present tonight, also Kurt Miller, we're glad you're with us as well. But I can't say enough great things about our fire department. Thank you, Chief Edwards, for all that you do. Also the service and the trainings with the school. The kids love you. But we'll let Mrs. Feige talk about the special award, and it's just very important to celebrate this, okay?
So Chief Edwards, if you can please come up here. Dr. Compton has a special award on behalf of the Board of Education. It's with both an honor and a privilege to stand before you tonight to recognize a group of individuals whose commitment to Seymour goes far beyond their call of duty. It's a group that exemplifies service, compassion, and the partnership with our schools and our families. On behalf of the Seymour Board of Education, Seymour Public Schools, we're proud to present you with the 2025 Connecticut Association of Schools Distinguished Friends of Education Awards. This prestigious honor is reserved for individuals or organizations that have made outstanding contributions to public education and the lives of students. The Seymour Fire Department has done just that and so much more. They are first responders, yes, but they're also mentors, educators, protectors, and role models. From fire safety presentations in our elementary schools to their visible and enthusiastic presence at community events like Trunk or Treat, the Pumpkin Festival, and the annual tree lighting, the fire department has always shown up for our students. They've opened their doors to curious young minds. They've taught safety with patience and heart, and they've celebrated our students' milestones right alongside us. Whether it's tossing candy during parades, hiding eggs for Easter eggs, or popping popcorn for Santa visits, they've made our town not only safe, but stronger, warmer, and more united. In Seymour, we talk often about the importance of preparing our students to be active, engaged citizens. Thanks to the example set by the Seymour Fire Department, our students are learning what service, leadership, and compassion truly look like. Tonight, we just don't thank the Seymour Fire Department for their service. We celebrate them as partners in our mission to build a better future for all. Congratulations on receiving the Cass Friend of Education Award. This is an honor well-deserved and a heartfelt thank you from every student, teacher, and family here in Seymour. Again, let's go Wildcats, and let's hear it for the Seymour Fire
This is important.
Perfect, congratulations.
Okay, item number 3, public comment. Anyone from the public like to make a comment? Second call for public comment. Third and final call for public comment. All right, public comment is closed. I understand it's June. A lot of young people here. I see some are struggling. We'll take a couple minutes. You guys can hang out, or you're free to go.
So we'll let
Guess not. I mean, the student council is supposed to do us. I guess we're waiting for the administration to talk. They need it, but I think they have it. so we will pick back up. What's that? Oh, with section 4 of the reports. Anyone have any questions on any of the reports? I saw Mr. Bucci up there, but I don't think there's anything really crazy there. Okay to move on? All right, consent agenda, we just have 2 items in that.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
By Stefan, second by Mrs. Brill. Any discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 500. Item 6. Oh, I'm sorry, Shane, 600. Cell phone procedure, Mr. Lawkey. Where's all the students tonight? You didn't tell them about it?
Do you mind if we switch order a little bit, because I have 2 of the teachers from my other committee here? I'd like to present the community service, so we're not holding them up all night, is that okay?
Yeah, we can do that instead.
We'll skip to required community service. So just to give you some background information, after I became principal, there was several needs that I had identified, and I created working committees. And this is a result of one of the working committees. I felt that our students needed to get out in the community more fitting after what we saw today from middle school. So these are 2 members of our committee, Mrs. Brown and Mr. Pollock. There's several other members of the committee that are going to present on kind of what they came up with for committees.
Like Mr. Lucky said at the start, it was the committee's idea. We came together and we decided community service is something that needs to be done at the high school by our students to get them out in the community. So the purpose, in that general frame is helping students grow personally, academically, and then making a positive contribution back to see, get kids out there and let them see the world, let the world see what we're doing, what our students are doing. It encourages empathy and engagement. Most importantly, give it back to Seymour. So suggestions that would be approved, and anything that's not on this list could be brought to the committee, and we can approve it. And there's a piece of guidance where they're gonna be tracking this all along the way. So, once again, it's a win-win for both sides there.
It's wonderful, it's so well done, and it's also too important too, as these juniors select capstone project and how many things can be tied in with community service, but I think you really, this is a great start, it's wonderful.
All right, thank you.
Any questions regarding community service before they get?
So is eligible now even for incoming seniors?
Incoming freshmen.
Freshmen.
Incoming freshmen.
So
Yes.
we want to put it implemented for that time frame, so that they have 5 years, 4 years. to
4 years.
Through it and get through the process. I also have some ideas with regards to teams and clubs, which would be in addition. That I'm talking to the athletic director about some requirements of community service per team per season as a team community service event. And I think it just plays into that our kids are getting out in the community. Some of the great things that we just presented to the middle school, and this is an opportunity for us to implement that, over a 4-year period.
Any questions? Ed?
Yeah, says must be fulfilled prior to the end of the first semester. What if they don't?
But they're gonna come back to the committee, right? If they don't fulfill it, there'll be an opportunity to
There
finish.
are certain things on the list that we told them that don't be made aware of, that they'll lose certain privileges until their voluntary hours are done.
So this is a mandatory thing?
Yes.
So then
So you can see the chart on the backside of the second page. Where
It's
it's
gonna
got
be
all
tied
the
to their,
other schools are doing or already required.
need a policy.
By the end of the semester, senior year is completed. You'll get all the events, and outside community organization, and keeping up there.
So I'm just looking at the middle column here about a graduation requirement.
That's what it's doing.
When will we have a finalized proposal or, because we'll have to vote on that.
Yeah,
For it to be a
that'll take.
graduation requirement.
So in order to implement it for the incoming freshmen, obviously this is the last board of education meeting, we would like the freshmen to know ahead of time. So it would be 25 hours required for graduation. Or we could table the next year, you could have discussions, and then do it possibly with some modifications for the following incoming year.
I think we could go ahead if we look in July and August. We just need just with the policy, just to support this. We support it. It's just getting the paperwork is all we need. Just because it's graduation requirement. That's all we need to do. Okay? So if we can bring back something, a draft in July, and let you look for August, and then try to roll into the year. It'll have to be in the handbook. It's got to be a part of graduation and asterisk part of the board policy. Because when you look at graduation requirements, all that's carried out in policy. This is wonderful. It's what they need to be doing. We just, legally, we need to add that. And that should take care of it. Right? Right, Ed?
Well,
Yeah.
that was my question, because
Yes, that's what we
to
got to
make it
do.
official.
Yeah.
we would have- And don't think that I'm against it, I'm just saying that to make it, we have to do it officially.
Yeah, we'll just add it into our current graduation policy, and it'll just be an update, it'll be a revision. That's what we got to do.
Because I could just see somebody not
Because
doing
they
it
challenge
and
us if we
saying,
don't. and that's
Mr.
what
Lucky
we'll
says,
do.
well, you're not graduating, well, show me where in the board policy it says.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you for this.
Yeah, so that's what we'll do.
That's right.
Is there going to be more
Yes,
organization?
it's not an expansive
Okay.
list. I just wanted you to have some sort of idea of what the form would look like, and I had started a list, but we do have a more comprehensive list. And again, they can also ask for a certain organization that may not be on the list, because that's being pre-approved before they do those hours.
And would you have the contact so that students could reach out, just making it all,
Yeah.
all in one place. That's great. Valley United Way might be something to damn it.
Board members' yard work.
Board member.
I don't think that.
That probably wouldn't fly, huh?
This is great.
A lot of great work there, and we'll include this. So I'll have to go into it. Yeah. So Mr. Luck, you'll be working with me with the graduation requirements here the next week, and we'll get that sent out to you.
Probably have to
The
have a quick
policy
policy
committee.
meeting. And
Yes,
then-
exactly.
And again, I apologize for the delay in presenting this. It's, we had the NEAS in March, and then we had to do a reply to when they came, and we used a lot of our PD committee time to do that. So they only met a couple of times, and they went off on their own to create a lot of things well beyond the time frame that I provided for them in the building, so.
A lot of great stuff there. Thank you.
The second item, which we reversed the order here, is the cell phone procedures. And the cell phone procedures, this was also another one of those committees. There was 5 teachers on that committee also, and I gave them the feedback of what student council had said in our last meeting, and some of the board member feedback when considering what they were going to be doing for a procedure for us at the high school. And some of you don't know also, House Bill 7009 was approved by the House and is now going to the Senate in the state of Connecticut. And in that bill is going to be requirements, if it gets approved in the 26-27 year for all boards of education to have a cell phone policy, following the outline of Governor Ned Lamont's recommendations, which came out last year. But with that being said, didn't know that was even going through, so I had this committee kind of working on these types of things. So you should have received this ahead of time, correct? Yes?
They did.
Do you want me to go through it, or you just want to ask me questions?
It's a little confusing.
Okay.
I wonder what the phase 1 and phase 2.
Yeah.
Is phase 1 like lockdown, and if they're
Yes.
good,
That's
we're gonna
right.
let them have a little bit?
So
Okay.
phase 1 is a complete total ban across the school. They can use it up until 7:30. They keep it on their possession. We're not taking kids' phones and putting them in bags at the beginning of the day. I think that's a complete waste. I've seen other schools do that and they've already failed. So the students, we're trying to, in phase 1, give them the education piece. So in here, you'll see there's a website that was identified by one of the teachers on the committee that provides, actually it's K through 12 digital curriculum, full curriculum on etiquette and use of digital devices and other things. So there's no redundancy in terms of what the curriculum is, which is very nice. So the first marking period, also listening to what student council said about wanting to have advisory more, I would plan to have more advisory periods, and in those advisory periods is where the teachers will be working with these kids through this curriculum. There's 6 lessons per grade level. They'll be working through the curriculum on digital etiquette. So the idea behind this is that yes, they know right from wrong at this age, but we want to provide the rationale for them so that they learn the reasons why they should be having their cell phone away and how to properly operate in society with a cell phone in meetings, formal and informal occasions with cell phones. So the education piece would be coming through the advisory in the first marking period. And then we set goals in that first marking period. If X amount of the student population completes all the 6 assignments for their grade level, and if they do that, as well as having a portion of the population not have their phone confiscated, then we would move into phase 2. And what phase 2 would allow them to do is to have it before school, during lunches, and then there would be specific courses that really need to use it, right? So we have digital photography. It's easy to use it in that particular course. Some of our science courses, the apps that are on the phone, somewhat better than what you can get on a Chromebook. So they'll be using some of the apps on that. And that would be an agreement with the teacher and myself, Mr. Cohen. They would apply to have a course in which we would add a hashtag on the student program so that they know in that class they can use the digital device. I would see it in our social media course probably also, and a couple of our business
social studies are pretty much saying, hey, we don't need cell phones in our class whatsoever for any class. What we have now is fine. So we would identify those particular courses where kids would be able to use them. Again, there's a set of criteria. Each time, each individual class, they would get one verbal warning if they had it on them. And that means earbuds also. We have a ton of kids when wearing the earbuds and they can't hear what's going on. And you don't really know if they're listening to you or the music's going on or wherever TikTok video is. No over-the-ear headphones either. That's included in all those. So they would get one verbal warning per a class. And then the second time, the teacher would ask that they would take their phone from them and hand it into the main office. They'd receive a detention. The third time, and would be the same kind of process, but the parents would have to pick it up. Before COVID, that was the process we actually used, and it was successful. We were one of the first 3 schools, I believe, in New England actually that had that type of procedure in our building. And that's kind of what the committee felt, hey, if we were successful at once, we could do it. There'll be a little growing pains in the beginning, and then we move on from that. So if we move from phase 1 to phase 2, come the end of the year, around May-ish, we'd be meeting with student council along the way, and then you would see myself back here with hopefully the student council president, maybe another representative, as well as hopefully somebody on the committee, and then we would give you updates of the progress, and then what we would be doing for the next year. Should everything go as planned, there shouldn't have to be an outright ban in the beginning. There would just be going to ongoing education in the advisory. Again, it wouldn't be replication of the lessons because each grade level already has 6 different lessons that they could access. So that we would just continue that with a goal of meeting in the first marking period, probably is what we do the following year, that they would have to have those 6 pieces done in advisory. Again, minimal confiscations, and we would just stay in phase 2. If something drastic happens, such as they're using cell phones in the locker rooms or the bathrooms, or we have kids taking out cell phones, God forbid there's some students having an altercation, you know, it's our prerogative to go right back to phase 1, which is offering. So that's kind of the summary.
So the whole school is on the same phase?
Yes.
Yes.
Not the, okay.
Also, the beauty of this, and I'll be sending it to you, is that CADE has and supports with students electronic devices and the personal technology use in schools. And also for the high school, they say practices shall focus on restricting cell phone use in the classroom unless determined by the teacher is necessary for instructional purposes. Practices that ensure appropriate filters are in place and mitigate illegal use. And the good thing about it is it also talks about these electronic devices and the role of the Board of Ed, the superintendent, and also working with the school leaders. And pretty much everything he's saying here, this is something I think we'll want to also pass and support because it really supports his procedures here. But again, that goes back to policy. And because, you know, you had some states in the beginning, they were just totally banning cell phones, putting them out. But CADE now, this is CADE's recommendation. There's also, with the annual updates, there is one on community. So that'll be good for us to address as well in regards to some where they recommend maybe even a half a credit for doing community service. But there's an excellent policy here about community service.
But in terms of this, it was a procedure they had prior to.
Right.
There was no policy.
Right. But this
So
will be.
looking for a policy, looking for, I don't know if it's an FYI or just verbal approval to go forward.
But this is a procedure, and he's telling you what he's doing. As the principal of the building and administration, he has the right to do that with how they're controlling the use of cell phones. So, but I think it'd be good too to also look at this policy because it's supporting.
Well, you may be required to create one.
We have to.
Yeah.
That's coming down. Yeah, legally we have to. You really do. So, I think it's excellent. It shows what's appropriate and what's not.
Is it going to be consistent?
It has to be.
Because like some coaches, some are players' coaches, some are not. Like we have teachers that are a little, that's fine.
You can't have any loosey.
I'm not gonna tolerate that.
No.
I know how we did it before COVID, and it was with that same type of mentality, where everybody sounds daunting, and yes, there's gonna be a little growing pains, but I think it's the right thing to do for these kids, because they're overly distracted and overly addicted.
In New Jersey, we wore the pocket door things out. They had to put it in the pockets.
And that's a prerogative of the teacher, right? So if the teachers
Right,
want
if
the
they want to
pockets,
do that.
some of them do, some of them don't, we'll order that through instructional supplies, we'll have it on there. And then, you know, they could ask the kids to put it in there.
Some of them even have two.
So I found, but just the teacher in this corner that says you can't have your cell phone and it's, this is the policy and that's what it is, not like, well, this person lets me, it's just, it is. And
No.
I believe the majority of staff weren't open.
No, the majority of staff didn't have one.
Oh, really?
Just like the kids.
That's very interesting.
So we're gonna move towards meeting that.
Yeah.
You know, that's the goal. Because there was some, I think there's some teachers, and the other teachers recognize that they almost have to be using the class in order to be successful. Like the digital photography, probably the social media class. Some of our business classes are consistently making short videos or presenting them on sales and pitching sales and whatnot. So I think they recognize the value in it, but it's up to us to educate them right at the very beginning what that value is and how to appropriately use it. And we didn't do that piece.
And they don't need to be distracted by their cell phone, not paying attention to instruction in the classes that are not using it in an instructional way.
Anybody else have any other?
And there's been a problem everywhere. So.
Just about the digital citizenship certification, how have those lessons been vetted? When was
Yeah.
that selected?
So it's a nonprofit. If you go to that website, there's a bunch of national government organizations who are already approved all. There's a whole bunch of logos at the bottom when you go there. So from psychologists to the government to other people, they all, I don't know where the funding source comes. I imagine it's from a whole bunch of them to be able to create all these lessons because it's K through 12. So I've looked through, just bebopped around and hit 2 or 3, one from each grade level. So I've hit 4 actually, just to take a look at them. And there's sometimes a short video associated with it. If you were in education, it goes back, it's almost like the old textbooks which are scripted. Okay, you do this, okay, now you say this, right? It's very, very scripted as lessons. We also, the kids are also placed in their advisories. And in the advisories, there's a Google Classroom that can be set up where they can hand in these types of materials so we can keep track of it to meet that threshold as a school to move from phase 1 to phase 2. And then, so we'll be taking a look at that, who's doing what, having conversations with the kids as time gets closer to make sure that we can try to get to that for the school to move to phase 2.
Any questions?
Yeah, well, piggybacking a little bit on your consistent and inconsistent with the coaches and stuff, that point.
Well, no, I just know that
No,
some
no,
teachers are
but I'm looking
easier
at
than
under
others.
procedures, phase 1. I think you're setting teachers up when you say at the start of each class, students to have their PDD silenced or turned off or stored out of sight, then you say it's up to the teacher whether to put it in a box or not put it in a box. I think that, to me, as a former teacher and former administrator, you're setting people up where it should be consistent. Everybody has it in their desks or everybody has it in a box. To give that option back and forth, I'm not sure is good for students, but that's my opinion.
One of my biggest
So
pet
we'll be
peeves.
move that option to phase 2 maybe or something.
Yeah, maybe move that to
Everybody
phase
just
2,
keeps
because
it
if
away
you got it
out of
on your
sight,
phase
out of
1,
mind.
if you're
Right.
saying
Yes.
it's gotta be out of sight, it should be all together in one place, not saying, because you know what's gonna happen. Some kids are gonna say, no, I'm keeping it on my desk, other kids are gonna say, no, I'm gonna put it in a box.
It can't be, it shouldn't be visible.
You know, you can't have, you can't, and you can't, and then you're pitting teacher against teacher sometimes.
One of the things I don't like about the pockets is you and I have a cell phone, but I have a 15-year-old phone. You got a brand new phone, and my phone
I have a
goes in.
15-year-old phone, I have a $1,500 phone.
Right. Yeah. So, you know, that worries me sometimes too.
I'd much rather have them keep it under protection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just keep it in your bag.
Out of sight, out of
Yeah, that's a good suggestion, Ed. We'll do that. That's good.
All right, any other questions?
This
Best of
needs
luck.
to be done, folks. It's not gonna be easy. We gotta work out
Best
the
of
code.
luck. And I think you're still staying up here, Mr. Lucky?
Got one more here.
The Vice President General emailed me today and something came up and he's not able to come, so we could either table this to next year when I can get him here, or I am prepared to present if you'd like. It's up to you.
Is this just adding more programs or changing?
We're just talking about the manufacturing, the state of affairs, and cooperative work experience, and getting kids into job shadows and that type of thing. So I can give you the information now, if you just want to hold it, or I can present it.
Well, it's up to us here. I kind of would want everybody to hear it. You're not going anywhere, right? Probably be at all our board meetings. So if
Maybe you
it's-
could do it for August?
Yeah, maybe
That
August.
sound good?
Something
See
that
if you-
came up late with it.
Yeah, see if you can do it, but that's, a lot of good works went into this.
Yeah. And then I'll send Shannon the materials that we have so far, so you can get those now, so you'll have them.
Right, so they can recover them.
Okay.
Okay. All right, lots of good work in that. Very good, outstanding.
All right, next up, we have the wellness policy. Dr. Condon, you want to give us a few on that?
Just in regards, this is just standard procedure that we have to adopt with Cindy Brooks, so I would just ask that you adopt it. Normally, we always like to take it to our policy committee, but this is something that's basically done pretty much every year. So I think what she's prepared suffices for her program right now. And our wellness committee has been meeting. Mrs. Feige's been a member of that committee as well. So it's just something that's required by her, so, and she's just updating it. So if anybody wants to see the paper version of it, I'd like for you to support it.
Any questions, or we do have to approve this one?
Yes,
I don't think there was many changes in it,
No.
a couple.
just a few. It's not.
And I can't remember if there was a policy number associated with it.
It's statutory, it's listed there in the back.
It is?
I think it is, let me see. It should be there in the back, when the last time it was adopted. Yes, it was last year. What policy number?
I don't see a policy.
Okay. We'll make sure that we add the policy number to it. It falls under the wellness. I think it's in the fives. Mr. Smello, you and I have spent a lot of time reading those, remember, under the
I
wellness and
understand,
the food
yeah, but
service.
We usually adopt a policy with a number.
Yeah,
I don't know-
yeah,
I don't know
that
what
we
to
do.
tell you.
So
Yeah, hold on.
we'll have to look it up. Doesn't have it stated there. Should we give a policy number? It's in the 500s, but I can't remember, of course, what number it is. She doesn't. We can bring it back for next time, okay? Let's just do it that
It
way.
is 5141.7.
5141. I know it was 500s, but I didn't have a clue.
The students, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll make a
51.
motion to approve policy number 5141.7, the wellness policy.
Second.
Okay, if we do it that way, we have to
Yes.
bring it back up in July, so we have to accept and adopt.
Accept and adopt, you have to read.
I'm going to
We
withdraw
did
my second.
withdraw the,
Want to modify,
But
Yes.
saying accept and
because
accept
it's
and
been
adopt
revised,
are different.
so we have to accept the policy and then adopt it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we got to
That's
vote.
that
it.
two-thirds
That's a
vote.
policy of ours too.
I withdraw my motion.
yeah. It's a
I have no
2/3.
further motions to make. Somebody can do it.
You wanna do that?
I'll make a new motion.
All right.
I'll make a motion to adopt To accept and adopt policy 5141.7, the wellness policy.
Motion by Mrs. Bruno. Do you have a second? A second.
I'll second.
All right, second by Jim. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor? Opposed, abstained? 6-0-0. All right. Item 6E, we have a donation for the track sign at the high school field.
It's that sign that's got the rules up there and looks very dilapidated, and he would like to donate to do the sign for us. So we're gonna take it down and get a new
Okay.
one.
I'll make a motion to accept the donation from Mr. Bill Lynch of the track roll sign for the Barber Field and designate superintendent to place it in the proper location. Second.
Motion by Ed, second by Jim. Any discussion?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, all those in favor? Opposed, abstained, passes 6-0-0. Item 6F, shared service agreement. Is that you, Mr. Gonis?
So I'm not sure, thank you for putting this on the agenda. I'm not sure if everyone has a copy of the current shared service agreement or not. That's in place. They do. They were scanned in their Google Drive. Do you have a copy of this in case?
This, I have it.
You have it?
You don't need it?
Scanned in.
Because they just gave
We don't have it. Yeah, it was in the Google Drive, and we have a few other copies. So, as you can see, this agreement has been in place since 2022, and I'm so glad that we're able to help with fiscal year 25 and fiscal year 25, which is this year, and fiscal year 26 of the town taking on the shared services cost. What we're hoping by this is coming to an agreement together that in 2027, 2028 going forward, that this agreement is still going to take place, that the Board of Ed will budget for the half of the 50% of the shared services as well as the health insurance. Nothing really changes. Chris Pelosi, our HR director, the HR director that we share, still does work for the Board of Education and still does work for the town. As we saw, this was a very ugly budget year for both the town and the Board of Ed. So we have our responsibilities as leaders, that we need to show the residents that we're working together, we're coming together for a common cause, not to help save money, but also push our schools and push our town forward. And by doing that, I think we can do that by combining costs together. You know, sharing the costs. Not having two HR directors, not having two IT directors, and just having everybody working together on that. So I know there were some meetings with Kurt, with some people here, and I know there's a facilities committee meeting. We have some issues with trying to get things fixed, and we have the Board of Ed, we have the Bungie School, we're working on getting a new Bungie School. So we just have to come together and work on this, and I wanted to, make sure that we can get this agreement passed.
Is this the only year?
Yes.
Mine looks a little bit different.
I'm sure it should be. Maybe yours is old one. It's 22.
Oh, maybe it's just different.
It's a different font. Yes. It's identical. I think it's a different font. You want a copy of mine? It's the fonts. Maybe that was copy.
Is it just the fonts that is different?
Yeah, it's identical. It's also in your Google Drive. Also, with the budget process, all of this was in the budget to begin with. And when we started out, as we kept cutting and we kept just going down, as we got so low, as you know what we ran into. We just couldn't do it. We tried. It was in there. We tried. And we saw the struggle. Well, I know, and that's what we have to work together.
Yeah, and that's why you were very good in saying, Dr. Compton, we will help, I will do, I will take care of it again the best way I can.
And I know there was some discussion in moving it forward by the town helping even out some more, and then the conversations just died.
Yeah, well, it was actually in their budget, it just died as it went on down, it was in the actual budget, and then by the time it got down to 5 or below, it just all, you know, there was things that just had to come out, we couldn't even put, with teachers, we had to look at three
And I know,
laying off
I
3
just know that
teachers.
you guys are getting more ECS funding with that. So I didn't know if you wanted to help with that, or if you already had that money earmarked or anything like that.
With the educational cost sharing, with the special ed, we don't even know at this point. It's something, is that what you're talking about? We don't know if we're gonna get 120, if we're gonna get 180, but Salvatore has very much worked that into the budget of what we're dealing with right now. I mean, we're down to where we don't know exactly what we're gonna have or what's going to come in. That's kind of where we are. It's a situation too with switching, going to the state partnership plan. We've had another increase of quite a bit of people that have switched to the state partnership plan that normally was not on our insurance plan. But anyhow, we're just waiting to find out, right, Mr. Bucci, on whether it's going to be, we're hoping 100, 120, it could be up to 180. We just don't know.
Well, and is there anything else that the town can do to help? You know, we want to be able to partner with this and be able to help and further. It's not just, you know, Rob Dyer, our IT director, is overseeing the 2 IT directors, or Tim Connors, the facilities director, is overseeing the custodial staff and our facility staff. For Chris Pelosi, is doing HR for the Board of Education, as well as doing the HR for the town.
Yes.
Seymour, we want to make sure that we're all working together and we're coming to the common ground of helping and finding, working where needs need to be, so that we're not costing the taxpayers any additional money.
No, I think we've worked together very well. I know Chris Pelosi spent the past Friday and again today. We're going through independent contracts and a lot of great teamwork. I was with Tim a little bit last week, just discussing, and then Rob Dyer was in my office last week as well. So we've had a good discussion, good stuff going on. And thank you for helping us.
Well, that's what we do. That's right.
Yeah.
Team, that's what happens.
That's all because we just, like I said, we've had a tough budget. I mean, this has been the toughest budget since I've been here.
So this is dated, just making sure they're both the same, August of '22. Are we going to have a new one drawn up for us?
Well, that's what I want to talk about, is having a new one drawn up, a up-to-date one drawn up, right? And then open the floor for more discussion, get a shared service committee together with the Board of Ed members and town members and talk about shared service and seeing if we're going to include more, what are we going to include, make sure that we are all comfortable with a shared service agreement.
Well, I think at this time, this is something that it needs to go back, but right now, this is currently in place, and this is what we're supporting at this time. And I think, you know, everybody needs to be open for further discussion, but this is what we're currently under.
Would the board have any interest of putting a committee together to sit down and to discuss this further? So down the road, we all know what is expected of each other, and that no matter who sits in your seat, and no matter who sits in my seat, and no matter who sits at the Board of Ed, it's all together, and that there's no questions asked of what is going on. Because as we learned, if it's not in writing, then it never took place.
Well, if it's not in writing, it didn't happen. It's not in writing, it didn't happen. That's something I always tell all of our educators. So I think it's something to sit down. I think everybody has to be open-minded, but as far as expanding it much, I think that's something the board will have to talk about. I'm not really.
When I say
yeah.
expanding, I
I'm
don't
not really-
mean, let me,
Yeah,
because I think I know where your mind is going.
Okay.
When I say expanding,
thank you for the
Because I know that's where
clarification.
your mind is
That's
going.
right, you know how honest
That's what
I
I'm
am,
speaking
I
about.
just put it out there.
Right, I'm speaking about
Working together,
working together
good of
to
the
share
cause.
the cost of running the Board of Education's buildings, the school buildings, as well as running the town buildings, and working together to keep and ensure the residents that going further, that we are investing. You know how you say that children are the biggest assets for the Board of Education?
that they are,
For
right.
the town, the buildings are our biggest assets. So we have to make sure that our structures, our infrastructures are solid, just like you have to make sure
Right.
the kids are solid. To me, the Board of Ed should only have to worry and focus on our children and ensuring that they're getting the education. We shouldn't have to worry about, oh, what's the PM for this and what's the PM for that. That should all be in one place, or how are we doing this, or how are we doing that? What's the latest HR regulations, or is there something new coming out from the IT director? That is something that they should be worrying about, and you guys worrying about the education. That's to me what I mean by expanding, looking at how we can cut costs, maybe utilities costs, water costs, coming together and sharing that together.
Yep, they're your buildings, and we need to look at ways that we
There
can
are
be.
buildings.
Yeah,
There is
together.
no yours and mine, it's all
Yeah,
ours.
that the town owns them, but yeah, it's all together. It's important.
Comments? I'm open to
Yeah.
having a conversation, sure. As long as Dr. Compton's.
Yeah, I think it's important. We gotta work together. We're all in this together, and it's one pot of money. And we gotta just try to do the best we can
So
and
do we
move
want
forward.
to talk about more of this now, or do you want to just
No, I think you just
work
need to
together
schedule
and come up
a,
with a date?
schedule
I don't
a
know if
meeting.
Mr. Garfalo has any
Oh, I'm sorry,
questions or
Jim?
comments.
No, okay, that's fine.
I would just add, this has been in place for 3 years now,
Mhm.
so I think it is an opportunity to take a look.
Yes.
How is it working out for the town? How is it working out for the schools? And do we want to make any adjustments
Yes.
moving forward based on what we've learned?
There are
in
some
3 years.
things, we have to look at, like running it like a business,
Mhm.
right? And how we're all gonna start saving money, or looking to save money, or investing. Because in the end, it's all of us together,
Exactly,
so,
exactly.
whether we're on a board or just as a resident, so.
And the costs are going up with everything, everywhere. We're in a tough economy.
So who should I send an email to get this going?
Me.
Okay.
And then we'll figure out who wants to be a part of that. I guess we could
Yeah.
only really do up to 4, so.
Yeah, because 5 would be a quorum, they can have 4.
Yes, right. The monies that would be budgeted, according to paragraph 5, would be in effect restricted, right? In the event of budget reductions by vote of the town and our constraints, we would not be able to reduce the monies that were placed in the budget according to paragraph 5.
According to paragraph 5, that is correct. And we've done it for the past 2 years, and the town has taken on
That's right.
Yeah.
Has taken that.
So it'd be the same as paying teachers. You wouldn't reduce what you've already contracted to pay them.
Right, be a contractual obligation.
So,
Right.
okay. Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right, we'll set something up.
We'll set something up.
Yeah.
Thank you, First Select Woman. Thank you to Chris and Tim and Kurt's in the audience tonight, okay? And, oh, I didn't see him. Okay, and Rob as well. Thank you for being here. We appreciate your work.
All right, item 6G is the 16 independent contracts. I'd like to do these all at once.
Yeah,
So
like
we don't
that.
have to do 16 different motions. So I guess I'll start. Does anybody have any questions or issues with any of these contracts?
We've worked very diligently on these. We've talked with all of these individuals. I had to do Cindy Brooks on the phone and in person, but different times. Everybody's been in the office in regards to these. Chris Pelosi worked with me extensively, and so was Shannon. So we worked very intensely to get these done again and updated. There's a lot of work here. We did not do 3-year contracts. I did not want to obligate a salary for the next year because of our financial situation. So we thought this was the best way to do it. That's what I did last year.
All right, we just need a motion to approve these.
I'll make a motion to approve the independent contracts for the 25-26 school year.
All right.
Second.
Motion by Kristen, second by Stefan. Any other questions? All right, hearing none. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstained? Passes 6-0. Item 7H, discussion possible
Yeah.
action of the superintendent.
Yeah, let me just, I won't take but about 5 minutes. Let's do this out in the open. We'll try to put together an updated contract with Attorney Floyd. I would just like to mention, and he can have a draft, we'll send stuff out and let you look, see what you want, what you don't. It's not really going to change a whole lot at all. The only thing that I would like to do and ask for I compared a lot of contracts, and I compared the history of past superintendents here in Seymour, and I looked at just a lot of other stuff in general throughout. And the one that I would like to have put in my contract, which has been in the other superintendents before, and, you know, we work with their Administrators Association and their union, but one of the things that I don't have that a lot of other superintendent contracts include is under fringe benefits. A lot of them, the superintendent gets the same thing the administrators get, sometimes more, usually there's a perk. I'm not asking for that, folks, and I know this is recorded. I think it's important to just be open to the public so that there's never any question about the superintendent's contract. There was times in the budget process when my actual salary was even questioned, and it was really hurtful because I am one of the lowest paid in the whole southern part of Connecticut. And I didn't come here just about the money. I've been in the business 45 years. So just to get to the point, here's what I'd like to see in my contract, is the one sentence where it says, the superintendent shall be entitled to all benefits granted to the Seymour Administrators Association which are not otherwise specified in this contract. Okay? And that's what I would like to have, is the same thing they have in their contract versus, because it wasn't in this contract. And that's what I'd like to have. So I'll pass this around and just let you see.
All right, and I know we don't have everybody here. I believe it was the May meeting, we started this discussion. I did not receive any feedback for the superintendent's self-review, so we could do that, and then we'll pick this back up in July.
We'll pick it back up in July or August, and we'll also, I want an opportunity to get to sit down with Kristen individually and Ed and you, Chris, if you can, or just them individually with me to just go through and reflect the stuff that I have, the written documentation, because I always enjoy that. And so we could do that, and with Jim as well. There was 3 of us, so that'd be good.
Yeah, I have a question.
Sure.
Could we consider having a requirement for piano recital?
I mean, mean, if
You
she
know,
signs,
minimum number
if she
per
signs
year.
it. There was only one time we saw her play the piano, was
I
that
know, that was in
the
a,
award ceremony?
I thought that might be uplifting.
Well, I failed with the volunteer for the yard work. I really would like some piano lessons. Maybe we'd work that into the contract.
but I'm appreciative of how well you all supported me. It means the world to me. And that's just the one little clause in there. And, you know, I've just compared a lot of things because there's a lot of different contracts out there. And I think it's better if people are open. I don't hide anything. That's one thing about us. I don't think we hide secrets around here. And I think that's important. I do. That's it. I just want that one little sentence in there.
And you'll have that
Yeah.
drafted, okay.
Yes.
All right, so we'll pick that back up in July or August. And if anybody has any feedback from the written,
Yeah, and they'll sit with me.
okay.
Okay.
All right, so item 7 is information. Mr. Lucky, I'm sure this is a new hire sitting to your right?
Yes, we're very proud
Just
of him.
because I know
Introduce him.
we're gonna skip over it, but I like to call it out since he's.
Stephen Marion is replacing Mr. Paul O'Connor, longtime PE teacher who's retired.
Okay, all right. Welcome. All right, so item 7 is the information. We have the hiring, summer hiring, appendix Ds, resignations, retirements. Any questions or anything in that? All right, moving on, item 9 is the comments. I don't have any comments. Graduation was nice, it was hot. I do appreciate the extra hours so the sun's not, and, that was very nice. But other than that, it was a great day, and the grounds look really nice. And Marie left, but yeah, the grounds look really, really nice, so.
Good tonight, thank you.
Ed?
Yeah, I found something that I wish more people were here for, but at least maybe people listening. I found this quote from the former president. If we want to invest in the prosperity of our nation, we must invest in the education of our children so that their talents may be fully employed. Maybe I need to do that at budget voting time also to bring it back. And maybe I need to repeat it more than once. But I'm sure that if it's at the budget hearing, they would probably cut me off if I did it more than once. And I thought, I had an opportunity to go to the moving up at Castle Presley. Unfortunately, I was not able to do it at the buggy because of a family commitment. But the middle school went very well. I enjoyed that, and the high school went outstanding. And the sun at least didn't beat in my eyes as long as it usually does, so that made it even better. But I thought the graduations went well.
Good first job. Jim?
No, I would just like to offer some kudos to our administrators for school year well done.
Just congratulations on all the graduates, and the middle school and the high school were great. Thank you again for letting us be up there to shake hands. That was awesome.
Same thing, appreciated the high school graduation. I wasn't able to attend any others, but, as Attorney Sanders always says, it's the most important meeting of this board every year, and it was very well done.
Turn it over to you.
I'll be very brief. I just want to say, I think our administrators did outstanding, our staff, our students, and our parents were so appreciative of the parental support here. They were very proud of their kids. Grandparents were proud, their family. It definitely was a celebration. I thought all of them were outstanding. Just very proud. something that is coming up. We're going to try to schedule interviews for Chatfield Presti Assistant Principal on Monday. If anybody's interested in serving on that committee, let me know. We've had 121 applications. Unbelievable.
Do we get that many teacher applications?
No. I also want to remind everybody about negotiations that are on the negotiation committee. Kristen's chair, Stefan and Jay, that the meetings coming forth is June 18th on a Wednesday. That'll be this week. And it's going to start here at 5 o'clock. And that will be with the secretaries first. And we're going to do ground rules and set dates. And then that will follow with the para-educators. Then on July 2nd is going to be with the administrators, and that meeting, the Administrators Union Association, that's going to be 3 o'clock on July 2nd, and that's going to be in the superintendent's office. Then July 9th is going to be the custodian negotiation here at 5:30. So we'll send all these emails. It's been very confusing because certain people couldn't come at certain times and whatever. So that's where we're at moving forward. The first meetings are the ground rules, the dates, and hopefully whatever can get all this set up and move forward. Okay?
All right. Any questions for Dr. Conklin?
We've been working with VH Care in Derby. We had a nice meeting with them. We'll be coming back with more information. They may provide a clinician for both Chatfield and Bungie to split. And we had a really good afternoon there. Actually, First Select Woman went with me, and Shannon met us over there, and it was a productive meeting. They're doing a lot of good services for the Valley.
What was that, BH?
Yeah, that behavioral health services. And also I had a meeting last week on Wednesday with the mayor of Shelton. Somebody said, what on earth are you meeting with the mayor of Shelton? And that was Valley Superintendents about a possible building in Shelton. I can't get into that with privacy. About special ed. There's going to be another meeting later in July.
Ed?
Just a question, are we gonna have the same setup for the trainer for our athletes? I was asked by a couple of coaches on that.
That's a good question. Right now, our athletic director is still working with Griffin Health. That's all I know. I can give you an update.
Because
I don't.
the feedback I got was that most of the coaches were very pleased with the athletic trainer that we had this past school year.
Okay,
Very
maybe
pleased.
hopefully they can get the same person back, so we need to
Ath-
tell
athletes as well.
our athletic director that, then they were very pleased. So, Mr. Lucky, we'll talk with Kathy about that, okay? All right, we're done.
We're done?
Yeah, it's 8:29, if you're ready to adjourn.
8:29, we can